In this episode of So Quaint, I'm going to be showing you how to use a bias binder foot.
This is the bias binder foot from Singer. This is the underside and this is the top side. As you can see, there are marks on it for 1/4 of an inch, 1/2 of an inch, and 3/4 of an inch. You can move this piece right here to go to the width that you want. When you move it towards the back, it comes further out. So now it's at 1/4 of an inch. If I keep on moving it, it eventually gets to 1/2 of an inch. So when you bring it towards you, this piece goes to that direction. So I'm just going to bring it all the way in here. That's to 1/4 of an inch. For this, I'm also going to show you how to cut fabric on the bias, and I'm going to show you how to make bias tape using a bias tape maker. You will need your scissors, matching thread, something to press with, something to press on, a sewing machine, a ruler, something to draw with, and fabric. The bias is pretty much the diagonal of the fabric. So you have the warp, you have the weft, and then the diagonal. So I'm just going to draw a line right here to begin, and we're going to be cutting along this line. But before we even get to that point, we want to cut the fabric to a length that will be able to fit inside of this bias tape maker. To use this bias tape maker, you need fabric that is about 2 inches wide or a little bit less than 2 inches wide. So I'm just going to create a 2-inch thick piece of fabric right here. This is linked in my description box down below, and it also comes in different sizes. So we're going to draw here 2 inches, 2 inches, 2 inches, and then I'm going to join these lines. I'm going to cut along these lines. So that leaves us with these two pieces. And the beautiful thing about fabric that is cut on the bias is that it stretches. So this is a trick that you can use to get non-stretch fabrics to stretch. Just cut them on the bias. Take a look at this. It's not stretching. Neither is it stretching here. But if you go like this, it stretches. So now we're going to put this into the bias tape maker. But first, I want to press these flat. I'm using my Cricut Easy Press Mini, and I like to do this when I don't want to use a big iron. It's very compact and it gets really hot, so it does the trick quite fine. So usually when you cut your bias, you're going to end up with these ends that are slanted like this. You don't want to straighten these ends because it's going to make it easier for you to feed it through here. So you're going to take your fabric, and with the wrong side facing up, you're going to insert this pointy edge into the back of your bias tape maker. And you're going to pull it through the other side like this. So what this is doing is creating a fold. Of course, you could do this fold yourself, but this just makes it a lot easier. So when you have it like this, you're going to take your iron and press it flat. And you're going to move your bias tape maker back at the same time. You don't really want to go too fast because you want to make sure you spend enough time on each part of the fabric to get it properly pressed in place. If you don't press for long enough, then the crease might not stay. So this is what we're currently working with. And this is how commercial grade bias tape is made. You can just make bias tape yourself instead of buying them. You save money and you also get bias tape in the color and fabric that you want. So this is what it looks like. And you can fold it like this and press again. Boom. So now we have this piece right here. And I feel like this needs to be pressed some more. Okay, so these are the other sizes. So as you can see, you're going to be able to make extremely thin bias tape with this one, medium size bias tape with this one, and really broad bias tape with this one. This is how they look from the back. And they have these hooks. You can hold on to this when you're moving it along your fabric. So this is what the bias tape looks like once it's been pressed. So one piece goes to the top and one piece goes to the bottom. And when it comes out around here, you're going to pull it through like this. I usually recommend leaving a tail right here so you'll have a little extra fabric. You're going to move this towards you so that this piece will be flush against the fabric because you don't want it to be loose, right? So now there's a space right here where you can place your fabric. You're going to slide your fabric into this space. So you go like this and wrap the bias tape around the fabric, and you can bring it up to about here because this is where the needle is going to start sewing. And it really helps if you put some pins right here to keep the fabric in place. Then we're going to put this in here, lower this, and then you're going to start sewing. So you might notice that your fabric is shifting when you're sewing. And my recommendation for this is to just kind of hold your fabric elevated in a sense. As you sew, you want to keep your fabric in the corner of the bias tape. And alignment is very important here. And you're going to keep on sewing until you get to the end. This is the end result. Isn't it beautiful? This is what the back looks like. Looks like one of the threads got looped here, but that's okay.
If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with a sewing friend, and subscribe to join the Sew Queen tribe. See you in the next one.